Alright, I'm gonna say, GMSYahawahs, we give double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. You know, again, it's a DC camp on location. We're at the Lyndon LBG Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson Memorial. And as you see right here, it says, tomorrow is ours to win or lose. Today we proclaim our refusal to be strangled by the waste of civilization. Today we begin to be masters of our own environment. As you see right here, it's Lyndon B. Johnson and his wife. It says, President Johnson stopped here many times and stared out across the Potomac River. As you can see, the Potomac River, before returning to the bustle of the city and the stress of the presidency. Having grown up along the banks of the Pedernals River in Texas, it is not surprising that he came to this spot often. The Potomac River that Lyndon Johnson contemplated, like many of America's rivers, were foul with chemical runoffs and raw sewage. When he signed the Water Quality Act of 1965, he hoped it would be a blueprint for the people of America to reclaim their natural heritage. It says the Potomac River upstream of the Memorial Grove. So we are here by the Spirit and Power of Yahawah for another, again, location, edifying the elect. You know what I'm saying? Yahawah and bringing out the truth and bringing down another stronghold, man. So in that, I'm going to say shalom. Yahawah, double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom and salutation to all the sincere occupants across the four winds. You know, DC camp on location, LBJ Johnson. And you know, hey, coming at you through the Spirit, Yahawah with more information about this Edomite. You know what I'm saying? The devil that the Bible speaks of. Let's get to it.
Well, yeah, like the brother said, we are on location with Lyndon Baines Johnson, where he was known for, you know, some different things. As far as the one I can think of off top was the war on poverty, which was called the Great Society, which where, you know, in the 60s they got the, basically was during the time where he was taking the men out the homes, mainly in, you know, impoverished neighborhoods, which the impoverished neighborhoods were what? Were, you know, Jake. It was Jake ultimately. You know, you had Jake during the time of the Vietnam War, you know, you know, getting into the Vietnam War. You had Jake, a lot of uprisings during the time of Martin Luther King.
Back in the 60s, the Watts riots.
We have Malcolm X, and he also, because he was Lyndon Baines Johnson in particular, he was a partner with Martin Luther King. You know, he was a partner with Martin Luther King, man, to basically keep our people oppressed, you know, keep the integration. And then another thing, as I was reading it as well, is that his policies were basically so that Jake will actually, during the integration, will have to receive the same education as Esau, the Edomites.
Yeah.
You know, and that's ultimately where the oppression lies, is more so philosophical than anything else. It's not, the oppression is not always with a gun, it's more so philosophical. Now we have to learn your math, your history. You know, that's where it all stems from. And he was the head front of it, but it's said that he was trying to bring forth more of what Franklin D. Roosevelt was doing back in the 30s. And what you see that now with Trump, you know, putting more money into the school system, saying that the impoverished neighborhoods, the school systems ain't all there, you know. But ultimately, you know, Lyndon Baines Johnson, he came with a Trojan horse. It was a gift, but it was in a disguise of destruction.
Absolutely.
All right?
This is Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them.
That's right, man. Seduceth them, man. You know, the way of the wicked seduceth them, man, because it's in a prosperous state. See, when our people were brought here on the shores, because we're literally in Virginia right now, and what you're seeing right now is basically, that's Washington, D.C., And that's what splits Washington, D.C. is the Potomac River. If you can see it, you know, and we're actually on the Virginia side, but the first slave boats came where? Right here in Virginia. 1619, 1620. So we're here where it all started at. Now, if you look at the conditions of the people that first got off the boats here, you know, they knew who they were, you know, according to the scriptures. They knew that they was Israelites, but they were being brought over here on the cargo slave ships as punishment. But throughout time, the heritage was watered down. So through the watering down of the heritage, when you take out something, then it's like a hard drive, if you will.
Yeah.
You delete the data that's already in the hard drive, and you upload your document, your data.
Which data is information.
Right.
And like the brother said, the thing is, even Bush had he had this saying no child left behind.
That's right.
That's the same thing. That's the same tip. Why? Because it's not no child left behind so that we can get really educated. It's so we could be in their curriculum. What's
Exactly.
their curriculum? The curriculum of the so-called white race is what? It's white supremacy. Because when you go into the history, what you understand, you're being taught about Washington,
right,
and all the presidents. You're being taught about the history of this country, but you're not being taught about the history of your people.
Right.
That's the reason why us as a people, a lot of times our history, when Jake speaks about history, it goes as far back as what? Slavery, and that's it. And Martin Luther King rising up in the opposite, quote unquote, opposite of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You know, the Watts riots, the LA riots.
Right.
That's the history of Jake, but that ain't no history. Those are just events that happened to us.
And they were all puppets. They were all puppets. You know? Hey, the scriptures also say too, I'll get it real quick. There's Isaiah, you know, chapter 10. No, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong book. Okay. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. You know, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Right, because it's basically a prescription. You know, something that someone prescribes. They sat down, thought about it. Right, because the so-called white man, you got to give it to him on the level of the wickedness. Because he'll sit there, ponder, trial and error. You know, this is one big test experiment to him. So they think about, okay, the consequences of different legislations.
As psychological warfare.
Exactly.
You know, psych means the mind.
That's right.
Ology means to study the mind. The warfare is just what it is. It's warfare.
That's right.
So the so-called white race, the Edomites, and with their heads, their princes, right? This L.B. Johnson was he is one of the princes of the house of Esau, the house of Edom. Now he's one of the lower princes, but guess what? He put up laws and legislatures that had actual effect on us, the nation of Israel. It wasn't just words, it's legislatures that were passed that will affect us as a people, right? Destroy our so-called communities,
so-called culture.
You know, pretty much as we're gonna read in the information, pretty much give gift and benefits to our women so they can turn around and betray us. You know, all these benefits that the Israelite woman has, these benefits were put on the table by these devils as bait so that our women will rise up against us, man. I got precept on what you said. This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Right.
When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So when L.B. Johnson was passing all these laws and legislatures, it was in the power of his hand. There's nothing we could have done about that. Why? Because we've been captive. We've been conquered.
Right. Yeah, because ultimately the Most High said,
Micah 2:2, it says that covered fields, that take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house.
Yeah, that's right. That's what happened, man. Because we have a movie, with James Earl Jones.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of the name of it off top, but ultimately, it was during the Claudine, right, and that depicts everything that happened You know, if brothers, you want to elaborate, brother? Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Well, basically, you know, it was during the time where they was taking the man out the house.
Yeah, they used to have the social worker, and the social worker would come over, you know, visit, you know, out of the
Unannounced.
blue, unannounced visits.
Yep.
And the man would have to hide.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's it's still happening to this day. When those people with
Social workers.
social workers, when they show up, especially for that you know, when the woman get that welfare,
Right.
you know, the Section 8, when they show up, the rule is the man can't be in the house. That's how you get all the benefits. The man cannot be in the house, and that's what the Lord said, to oppress a man in his house. It's talking about your wife, your children, everything is upside down, man, in the household. And that's one of the reasons why we're in this situation right now.
Right. Now, precept real quick. This is Sirach chapter 20. Sirach chapter 20, verse 29. Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove.
That's right.
You know? Yeah. Because, you know, the point is that the presents and the gifts, it blind the eyes, man. You know, and that's what LBJ, you know, Lyndon Baines Johnson, he did. And then the thing was, they had a Negro assist to him pushing forth his agenda, man. It's always been like that, even going back during the time of the Maccabees.
Absolutely.
You know, I can't think his name off top right now. Jason.
Yeah.
You know, the high priest Jason. Right, which he was ultimately he was doing. You know, you had the Greeks basically wanted to push their agenda, but they got Israelites to get up in the high priest, to get up as the high priest at the time, and then, you know, basically pervert the mind of the other Israelites there, man. Basically they're false kings. You know, they're the wicked kings. You know? Right, so also too, right, that was another segment. We touched on the Great Society, you know, the war on poverty. That was one of his bigger legislations that he announced and pushed forth. However, now it's where it really gets juicy, all right? Because you have the 501c3 organization, all right? The 501c3 was actually pushed by this man right here, okay? Lyndon Baines Johnson, all right? With you other Hebrew Israelite camps, you know, you felt you no different than Martin Luther King.
That's right.
You know, that's how we know you guys sit in the seat of those wicked Pharisees in the ancient world. That's why, remember, Yahawah said in Matthew 23rd chapter, he said the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Absolutely.
Okay? They sit in that seat as the dictators, as the top priests.
Yep.
But he said what? Do what they say and not what they do.
That's right.
Why? Because they were hypocrites, man. And that's what it all boils down to, man. Because those same hypocrites, those were the same men. He said what? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you would do. Why did he say that? He said, ye are your father the devil, ye are of your father the devil being the so-called white man, Esau, the Edomites. He said, you're of that devil, you're of that man, and the lust of your father, meaning his legislation where he wants to push forth and bring past, you know, his decrees. You go ahead and be the Stephen, if you will.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're the ones really pushing forth the agenda, man.
Right. And the thing is that at a lower level in the past, it used to be their front men used to be people like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton.
Right.
You know, when Israel was in full total slumber, we didn't know we were Israelites. We didn't know our nationality. The men that they used back then, the quote unquote leaders astray, was these low lives scum Negroes. You know, like again, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all these so-called leaders, Martin Luther King. But now that Israel is awakened to, you know, by the power of Yahawah Shah, Israel has been awakened. Now they get into the next level. Now they're using Israelites, part of the circumcision, to what? To lead the nation of Israel astray again. So that lets you know that there's different levels of agents, you know, in this effect, this movie of ours. That you got a lot of Israelites that are set up, the spirit is set up to subvert the faith of the elect. He's going to try to do it.
verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses, contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them.
That's right. He said avoid them, man. He said mark them with that which cause division, man. You know, we're supposed to pinpoint who is causing division in the doctrine, man.
That's right.
You know, we're supposed to say, look, don't follow these guys, man. You know, put them in the crosshairs, watch them.
Yeah.
You know, but don't follow them, man.
Yeah.
Scriptures also said what, too? Mark the perfect man.
That's right.
All right, so there's other men that you're supposed to watch and actually follow, man.
That's right.
You know, just like during the time with Paul, he always had a gripe and a grievance with other men that were coming up against what he was teaching.
That's right.
Which ultimately were agents,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
whether they be Satan or whether they were right, straight up of Esau, man. You know? Right. It says, okay, so this is the 501c3 tax charter, and this is basically off Wikipedia. We just jump to the part where it says tax deductible charitable contributions. Right? It says an approved 501c3 exemption allows donors to the organization to reduce their own taxable incomes by deducting the amounts of their donations given. Right? It says, and thus to reduce their personal income taxes, and it allows the 501c3 organization to avoid, right? That means your church, when you have this 501c3, right? It says to avoid federal income tax on the difference between revenues, donations, grants, service fees received versus, right, wages, supplies, state and local taxes paid, etc. In its main operation, in a for-profit business, the difference would represent taxable income and be taxed at federal corporate tax rates, or 15 to 39%. Organizations with 501c3 status may be also exempt from state and local corporation income taxes, which generally range from 0 to 12%.
Wow, that's big, because when you know, all of us got to pay these taxes, man. I mean, now, depending on the state that you're living in America, certain states don't pay federal income tax, you know, aka Florida. If I'm not mistaken, the state of Florida, they don't pay income tax. But the majority of the states in America do have to pay income tax, and everybody, of course, has to pay what? State taxes. The state taxes, that's a given. That's where you got the United States. The states have their own laws and jurisdictions, and they're able to tax you for living in that state. But now the federal income tax is something that comes straight out of 1913, the preacher from Jekyll Island. Wow, when America was getting ready to crash, I think it was Roosevelt. It was
Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson, Woodrow Wilson, that pretty much signed away the rights, the land. He pretty much signed away America as a whole.
He said he regretted it after he did it.
Well, yeah, that's what he said, but we know that's not true. He's only said that because eventually people caught up to him and saw that it was the worst deal ever. And that was the deal that had to be made with some prophecy, so that America could be able to pay federal reserve notes and all these idiots could be able to pay federal income tax, so that all that income tax would go straight to the Illuminatis, right? And the other part would go into what? Funding the military, the defense act. No, just the
military industrial complex.
Military industrial complex, but just the defense. Because remember, 67% of the budget, and the American budget goes to the military, defense department, to the defense department. So it's all spiritual. And again, L.B. Johnson, man, he's a big part of that. He's a major part of it. And we going into the 501c3 charter. I got this precept. This is Ezekiel 22 and 25. It says, Ezekiel 22 and 25. There is a conspiracy of the prophets in the midst thereof. Like a roaring lion ravening the prey, they have devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. So it's verse 26. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. Now, when something is profaned, it's outside of the temple. Now, the 501c3 charter is profane, man, because that's outside of the temple, man. And I have made a video about it. The 501c3 charter is a gag order, man. That's all it is. Because when the more you read into it, it'll show you that, listen, there's certain things that you can't and cannot say, man. If you want to fall into the 501c3 charter and be exempt from all the taxation, man. Think about it. America was built on taxing people, man. So if they're not going to tax you, what is it that they want in return, man? Ask yourself that, man.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is okay. Well, this is, I'm gonna go back up. This is talking about obtaining the status, right? It says the basic requirement of obtaining tax exempt status, meaning the 501c3, is that the organization is specifically limited in powers to purpose specifically limited in powers to purposes that the IRS classifies as tax exempt purposes. Unlike for-profit corporations that benefit from broad and general purposes, non-profit organizations need to be limited in powers to function with tax exempt status. See, now, if you call yourself Rakata, you know, if you call yourself coming in the name of GMSYahawahs and they're telling you that your powers are to be limited for these tax exempt statuses, then who are your powers? All right, who do you reverence? Who do you fear? Okay, because our power is in what? In who? GMSYahawahs. Right. So you can't tell us we gotta limit our power. The very name Yahweh itself has no limit. So how can you say that your power is being limited? Right? Why? Because it's going to say you basically join the state. You're part of the state now. You know, you're a state-recognized organization. You know? We're not recognized. Why would I want to be recognized by the state? When the state in which you live and where every state in America was established off the blood, sweat, and tears of our people. Why? So why would you want to be acknowledged with that? Because the spiritual brothers go back. That was 2001. It was like February 2001. The apostles did a video on the monument. Remember, they went into the whole concept of the corporation. How America is a corporation before anything else. So when you say that you're getting down with the state, you're not saying that you're getting down with the people. You're getting down with the beast itself. That's right. That's right. You're actually getting down with the system. That's why when people talk about the mark of the beast, the other Hebrew Israelite camps, they never talk about the beast. How many of these people actually really say, okay, let's break down who the beast is? Okay, Khan.
This is Revelations 14 and 14. That says, "And deceiveth them." It's not a 12. This is Revelation 14 and 12, "And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." Verse 14, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast." And that's the point. Verse 15, it says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast." Part of the image of the beast, of course, the image is talking about a system, talking about a pit. Part of the image of the beast is the 501c3 charter, without a shadow of a doubt. Why? Because it's part of the beast's program, man. It's major because, again, what does it do? It tries to stop the gospel from being pushed. It puts a gag order on the so-called leaders, you know, the ones that call themselves leaders of Israel on these other camps, they all have a gag order, and that's the reason why now you see they're getting worse and worse. Now it's like, man, you can't preach you can't preach the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, you got to revert back to Jesus Christ and shit, man. Oh, now, we got to go easy on the Edomites. You know, maybe the Edomites got a shot. You know, maybe go easy on them. Maybe there's gonna be a few of them. Remember GOCC? Oh, it's gonna be a few good Edomites. Oh no, we're not gonna whoop the hell out of these Edomites in the kingdom of heaven. No, they're just gonna come to work clocking, you know, like the average employee, and it's just gonna be that. No, that's not what the scripture says. You know.
This is Matthew chapter 22, verse 17. It's talking about the Pharisees and the followers of the Herod, the Herodians. They're trying to entangle Yahweh in his words. Matthew chapter 22, verse 17. Tell us, therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahweh perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Shew me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then said he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto Yahweh Shem Shai the things which are Yahweh Shem Shai's. Yeah, so that basically tells you there's a clear difference between, you know, being in this world and being in this truth. You can't serve two masters, you know. You're still in captivity. Yahweh Shai understood that he was in captivity. That's why he told the Pharisees and the followers of Herod, the Herodians, you know, render unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto Yahweh Bashim Shai the things that are Yahweh Bashim Shai. Because
if I can speak on that, that is so telling, because that was another form of, you know, Yahweh Shai saying to Israel that refuse that gag order. Meaning, don't take Caesar's money. Don't try to not give to Caesar what's to Caesar, because if you're in a situation where you don't have to give him what belongs to him, which is the taxes, then he's going to require something in return. And that's what the 501c3 is. It's like, we don't want to pay taxes, you know, although we are supposed to pay taxes because we are slaves. The reality is we are slaves. And Yahweh Shai was telling Jake there, listen, we are slaves. We've been conquered. So therefore this is a form of punishment. We have to pay these taxes. But instead you want to be tax exempt, meaning you want to go away from the punishment, the rightful punishment of Yahweh Bashim Shai upon the nation of Israel. But guess what? That comes with a price. Because now, what do you have to do, you know, for Esau? Now that he's had you exempt from those taxes, what do you have to do for Esau? That means you got to revert to what? You got to revert to the powers that be. What are the powers that be? It's the dragon, it's the Edomites, and their power structure. And all the way down to this particular form called a 501c3 charter, which again has been devastating when you talk about the spiritual aspect, you know, a lot of Jake, really. Because you talk about these churches, these Christian churches, and now it's to the point where it's also crept up into what? The sanctuary of the circumcision. Jake that knows it, the Israelite, bowing down to the image, to the image of the beast, man.
Hey, they can't teach sound doctrine either.
They can't.
You know, because Esau, as the times change, their doctrine is going to change, you know?
Yes, because Esau is giving them orders as far as what to say and what not to say.
Yeah, they're not in control.
Right.
You know?
Right. Remember that time he was watching Nate? He said something. What he said, nigga or something. He said, and he brought it back, or faggot. He said something. He realized he messed up. You know. But I got this right here. This is it's on hushmoney.org. Right. It's 501c3 facts. Most churches in America have organized as 501c3 tax exemption religious organization. This is a fairly recent trend that has only been going on for about 50 years. Churches were only added to Section 501c3 of the tax code in 1954. We can thank Senator Lyndon Baines Johnson for that. Johnson was no ally of the church. As part of his political agenda, Johnson had it in mind to silence the church and eliminate significant influence the church had always had on shaping public policy. That's when you get the separation of church and state. You know, and he was a big assistant to that. You know,
he really just wanted to destroy Jake's spiritual. He understood that, you know, that devil understood that, you know, we are spiritual people. And he knew that if you want to control Jake, that you got to control Jake through the church. Meaning you have to have an influence in the church. You have to know what's going on in the church, what's being said in the church.
Because their biggest leader was who? Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, he was the forefront man. Why? Because he was a so-called reverend, man. A so-called pastor, man. Which when he was a pastor, he was a wicked pastor, man. Scriptures talk about that. Jeremiah 23rd chapter. You know? What? Go on.
Also it goes way back, you know, as far when the folks that come from Europe to America had the Catholic Church. You know, they had so much power back then because they had the congregation from all this nation that were Catholic.
Yeah.
And then they have influence on this election. Because, you know, when you have those folks from Europe coming to America, they always decide who's going to win because they have such a heavy Catholic population. So when you have those, you know, so-called mayors and governors and the Catholic and Protestants and all that stuff, they can always, you know, sway where the votes will go. That's why it goes back to the separation of the church and the state. Because you have all these monasteries, so-called fire Catholic priests, they have so much power to really convince the congregation how they're supposed to vote.
Right, that's right. You know, that's heavy too, because if you go back, because if you look at those ancient movies, like for instance, you watch the Borgias, everyone had to consult with the Pope, even if you wanted to go to war. Everything was, you had to go, the consultation was all through the Pope. You know, why? Because like the brother said, when you had civilizations back then, especially, everyone was like, you didn't have a mix of Muslims and Christians living amongst each other. Back then, you had, you know, it was mostly Christian. If you weren't, you were. You know, you did have pagans around or whatever the case is, so-called or whatever. But for the most part, like the brother's saying, the dominant
religious belief was Christianity.
Yeah.
So
Catholicism.
Catholicism. So if you wanted to be a leader, a president, or whatever, you had to win those votes. So you had to have influence on that certain.
You had to sit well with the Pope. You had to sit well with the Pope. That's why the Pope goes around to different countries.
Blessing them.
His
blessing.
Quote unquote. You know.
You have the archbishops of all these different dioceses.
Right.
You know, making having meetings with like police chiefs, mayors, and governors. You see presidents sitting next to them doing the dinner. You know, that's how, you know, elections get, you know, decided.
That's right. Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
This is Revelation 16. Revelation 16 and 13. It says, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet." You know, so when it's talking about the false prophet, it goes into what? That Catholicism, you know, the Vatican, the Pope, you know, that's the false prophet. Why? Because the whole, really, now, of course, things are being flipped. The whole world is being, you know, the whole world is being exposed to the real truth as far as who the Israelites are. But really, for the longest, dating back to Constantinople, the whole world was really under that major influence of what? Roman Catholicism has reigned over the earth as the top religion for ages. You know, and it's been, and it's said what? That's what's called a false prophet, man.
Yeah, it's about 1,700 years.
Yeah,
you know, even before that.
Right. Yeah. The same philosophies. You know, yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah, so LBJ had to have, he understood that he had to have his hands in the church.
Yeah.
Specifically, the church, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He knew he had to have his hands in that.
He's ultimately getting his orders from the Rothschilds, man. You know, the wicked elite, man. You know, those top witches, man. Because really, he's a low-level witch. You know, he was just issuing out what he needed. Because it's a chain of command, man. Even Esau knows that. You know, you have the top guys, which those guys will be like the top priests, if you will. The Rothschilds, they're like the top wicked priests. And then it gets passed down to a lower level priest. That's why, what do you have here? You have inaugurations. He was inaugurated. You know, which basically summons up those ancient demons, them conjuring up those ancient spirits,
and establishing you as a witch on a level.
Yeah.
As a warlock on a level.
That's right. That's right.
What it is. That's why remember when they get inaugurated, they have to do it at high noon.
Right.
They always do that. You know what I'm saying? We have to wait. If it's 11:58, it's like we gotta wait, and you gotta be inaugurated
specific
at high
time.
noon, because that's when noon. What's noon? That's when the sun is at its highest.
Right.
In America, it's all about what? The worship of the sun.
That's right.
You know.
Let me read this real quick. This concerning the customs that Israel used to keep, to tourists. This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger.
Yeah, that's right. That's what Jake was doing. But that's the reason why, again, man, when the Rothschild gave the order to L.B. Johnson to pass his legislatures to destroy our people, spiritually, mentally, but that's really what it was. It's a psychological warfare. So it's a spiritual warfare and mental warfare. When he passed that down, the Lord, Yahawahs gave him the power to do that. So that why? Because of the deeds of Israel, man. You niggas haven't been righteous. You niggas haven't been following the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. You niggas don't even know who you are, man. You're just out there willfully sinning and going against the Most High. So the Lord said, well, like he said in Deuteronomy, it's just as I will rejoice in doing you good, I will also rejoice in doing evil unto you, man. And he said he was going to bring another nation upon us, from whose language we are will not understand as swift as the eagle, man.
Yeah.
And then when they have these inauguration ceremonies on the mall or wherever, they always have Jake, they always pour in there in droves.
Yeah.
You know, they go, leave whatever state or country they're coming from.
They're under spell.
Come down to DC, buy all the memorabilia, paraphernalia, just to attend, printed shirts. They're trying to get the hustle money on the side, Obama umbrella, the Trump umbrella, the Trump hat, Make America Great Again, things like that, They'll be so deep in these campaigns to set someone of another nation to be above them, and the Most High doesn't like, such an action
with
like
it.
that.
He's a
That's right.
jealous power. He's
That's
a
right.
jealous God.
That's right. They indulge in the ceremony, So the scripture said, "Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished." Man, they join hand in hand with this devil, man. If I may, real quick, this is Psalms 81 and 11. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up to their own heart's lusts, and they walked in their own counsels. And their own counsels is after the other nations, man. It was always like that, man. Going back, even coming out of Egypt, what did they want to do? They wanted to go back into Egypt. Fast forward up further, during the time of the Babylonians, Israel some of them wanted to join the Babylonians, some of them wanted to join Egypt. Remember Maccabees, the first chapter? He said, let us speedily make a league with them. Because they said, since we had left, we've been in great derision.
Again, that's the reason why all these calamities is happening, to the nation of Israel. That's the reason why. This is just what the brother said. This dude right here, he's just being born, man. He's really just a part of in the whole game, really. It's just the reason why you have individuals like this lower level prince of It's because the higher priests, they don't want to put their faces out there. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. If they could, they would come down there and sign these things with, you know, with their own 2 hands. But they're not going to do that because they just don't. They feel like
they're cowards.
Right. Not only are they cowards, but also they feel like they're too good to even, you know, for us to even look at them. Yeah. Do you know? There's a reason why when you look at all these secret societies.
No, I'm just thinking, you know, Edomites walking by, they probably think we Muslim or something.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
But, I just want to say something. There's a reason why even in these secret societies, they have what you call the Prince Hall Masonry or Boule, because the top elites, like Skull and Bones and Scottish Rite, they don't allow Negroes to sit at the same table as them, man. They're like, they're wicked and they're warlocks, and they're like, okay, nigga, you want to be like us? Good, we're going to give you a section or a branch when there's going to be y'all niggas, and you're going to get orders from us. But you don't get to sit in our round table, you know what I'm saying, with the other top Edomites.
Elites. In all actuality, Jake started all that shit. You know, the Freemasonry and all that. Jake started that going way back. You know, but ultimately, you know, Esau mimicked it, but then they got into their power seat. You know, because it was always segregated. You know, it was always segregated. Something else I was gonna say.
My brothers always talk about, you know, how things always done in secret. Like, like a while back, a couple of years ago, I had this vision. I had George Soros and the Rockefeller, John Rockefeller, who just passed away. You know, I'm not sure what his first name is. They were in this little room. They're working on these documents. They were like proofreading it. They have like, you know, pen in their hand. I was like sitting down, I was like, you know, in the spirit, I was kind of invisible. I was just looking at them. I was like, damn, you guys are going to succeed, man. You know,
that's right.
That's right. That's right.
There's Rockefeller and George Soros in a small room looking over a document, you know, put this there, put that there. I'm like, damn, yeah, I am next to this document looking at these 2 men. They can't see me, but I'm like, it's a scary situation, man. So that lets you know how they formulate all these policies. And then, you know, when it comes to pass, you have an understanding why it comes to pass, you know?
Right.
They just put a face of a politician up in front of TV to, you know, to push all this legislation. That's the way things happen, you know?
That's right.
You don't put your face on, you just get like, you know, a fall guy to do the work, you know?
Yeah.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach." Verse 4, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life." It says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier." So if you're a man warrior, because this is a war, and Paul said in 2 Timothy, I think 6:12, to fight a good fight of faith. So it's a fight. It is a war. So if you fighting this war, you cannot entangle yourself. Or entangle means to be intertwined with the affairs of this world. You know, politics. You know, voting for Edomites. That's going to pass laws and legislations to put your own people in the
Now, when you go back to it, Revelation 13:16 said, it talked about the beast. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. They said that the beast did that. Yeah. Now, this beast set up this charter to separate church and state. All right. So, what is it that this beast is doing now? Again, basically, what they're gonna have people do ultimately is try to, because eventually the chip is gonna become policy.
Yep, it is.
You know, it's not going to become something where you can just go to the store and, do I want to buy it? Do I not want to buy it? No. He said,
if I say this right,
Yeah,
quick,
come, brother.
it's gonna be like Obama. Remember when Obama? Once upon a time, they said there's no way in America that the healthcare law can be passed when people are forced.
Right.
Remember that.
Right.
Because remember, it's that freedom of speech and freedom of. Hey, if I want healthcare, I should be able to say I want or I don't want it.
Right.
But that's what they said. That's why they kept saying that law was what unconstitutional.
Right.
The healthcare bill that Obama passed that forced all of us to keep healthcare was unconstitutional. But did it get passed? It goddamn right it did. Guess what? The chip, if you go to their constitution, right, it's gonna be unconstitutional. But you goddamn right that's gonna be passed.
Yeah. Just like I think labor tax. You know, a labor for the everyday commoner here is not supposed to pay labor tax. The IRS is its own private entity, you know, which extracts money from your labor.
Yeah.
You know, which taxes you from your labor, man. You know, but also too, that's why what the brother mentioned, the scripture say he causeth both small and great, rich and poor. You know why? Because that causing is going to be something that's provocative.
Yeah.
You know, something that you know, oh, I should get this thing. But then, but if the spirit's going to be with you to say, look, I ain't getting it, then hey, that's what the case is. But if you already said, look, we already gonna get this, what's next? Because you had Nate blatantly come out and say, look, that he said he took the benefits.
Yeah, man.
They took the bait. Well, what else you gonna take next? Johanna said, remember the brother, one of the brothers, well, he was a dude from Sakari. He came, remember he asked Johanna, he said, if you couldn't eat, would you take the chip?
Yeah,
he said, yeah, of course I would take the chip. These niggas they're giving up the booty, man. You know? They're giving up the spoils, if you will, man. They're being robbed, man. In all actuality, they're robbing souls.
Yeah, they are.
At the end of the day, man, they're harvesting souls.
Absolutely. Well, that's what. Remember when we read Ezekiel? Let me see. If we read Ezekiel, it said that what there was a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And so the Lord acknowledges that. So just in case you don't want to believe that it's Ezekiel 20.
The one I can think of is Jeremiah 11. I know there's Jeremiah 11.
Yeah, that one as well. If it's hard for you to believe that, if you're like, man, there's no way. We got out of Christianity. We in Israel. Israel is Israel. Everybody's straight. There's no way there's a conspiracy. Dudes getting the truth and still want to use the truth for their own, devices. Well, understand the Bible says that there is a conspiracy in the midst of our prophets, man. Meaning, listen, even if you don't know, just know somebody's selling out. You just need to find out who's selling out.
Remember Caiaphas? Remember they all got together. He said, being high priest that year, he said he knew it was supposed to be somebody to come die for the nation. Yeah. And even though they knew he was the Lord.
Because remember, Caiaphas had the gag order on him.
Exactly.
Because he was eating off with the Romans.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He was Caiaphas was under who was he under at the time? I know Pilate was
who won Agrippa?
Pilate, huh?
Was it Agrippa?
Well, no, you talking about Herod?
Oh, okay.
Herod. Well, yeah, he was
Herodians.
under the Herodian dynasty, and of course Pontius Pilate was the overseer of that region.
Right.
So that's who he was dealing with.
Yeah.
He wasn't dealing with the scriptures, Caiaphas. He was on that, trying to eat and trying to be on Moses' seat.
And you know, the Spirit, Esau, that's how we know Esau is as well, too. Because Esau's main trick or policy, because if I'm not mistaken, that's what the word policy means. It means trick. A trap. Right. Now, his main trap is through funding. It's always been that way. Even going back to what brothers just read it. Remember, Yahushua give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Why? Because they try to trap him. His policy is with that dollar, man. Well, it's the modern day dollar. Well, back then you had what was the Roman? What was the denarius? You know, it was always that. That's Esau's thing. Get you with the money. Matter of fact, you see that in the Maccabees when the treasurer, it was Antiochus' treasurer. They said as soon as he gave credence, he fell swiftly upon Israel. Why? Because he was coming with those benefits, man.
Soften them up.
Yeah, you know?
Hey, can I say something? They was always captivated by the wealth that Esau portrays. You know?
Exactly.
And they don't want to lose it.
Right.
So that's why they denied Yahushua when Yahushua was on the scene.
Right, that's why you got, this over here, you got PG County, even going down to Waldorf.
Yeah.
That's spiritually Capernaum, man.
Money count.
You know, that's what Jake. Remember, because we read in the scriptures, Capernaum, remember Yahawashi, that's the first place they dust their feet off.
Yeah.
They said that this place would be, Sodom and Gomorrah would be more tolerable than this place right here. Why? Because of the pride of Capernaum, man. You know why? Because that was the well-to-do Jakes that were fighting. They were Roman soldiers. Some of them were publicans. You know, they had high seats within the Roman government.
They basically worked for the state.
At the time.
At the time, they basically,
because it was the state of Rome. The state of Rome. Which, you know,
which if Jerusalem being under the Romans, you would need Israelites working under the state to enforce the policy that the Romans had put on the Jews in Jerusalem.
Well, that also proves too that, you know, the currency at the time had to be the dinar. Because remember, Yahawashi said, he said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar. Because it said, whose face is on it? Remember, it said that. So why is he in Israel saying that the face of the coin there is Caesar's face? Why? Because they took over everything, man. Because remember, because they said, give me, who was that? The politics? No, it was one of the elites. He said, I care nothing about a country and its laws, but give me the power of his
It was
and Shalbawa, was it? Okay, Khan.
Give me control of their money.
He wanted control of the money, man. So if you control the money, you control everything.
He was the first really big international banker.
Right.
When what's that? At the end of World War II?
No, this is way before that. 1700s.
No. He said so like
Revolution?
The revolution, around 1776.
Right.
You know, when the banking system was established.
Right.
And he's the one who really, you know, he did a lot of trickery. We didn't go into the details. You know, he did a lot of trickery and ended up amassing a lot of money. Man.
He sent the sons out.
Property and lands. Right. He sent them to different places. He sent one son to Germany. He was sending another one to France. He's laying up seeds of corruption, and the money just kept pouring out.
Send them to those nations that make up the heads of the beasts.
Exactly, brother. See, exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Right. And that goes into who the beast is, man. Who the system? Because the beast is the system. So how can you say the mark of the beast is Christianity? That beast, that structure didn't start Christianity. All right. So you can't say that's the mark of that Christianity is the mark of the beast. All right. Furthermore, you know. So yeah, man, the proof is in the pudding. Who Esau is? How is he going to come with his foolery, if you will? Can I get something real quick? Wow. Or did you get?
Yeah, I had something right.
Come.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 20 verse 29. It says, "Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he could not reprove." You read that earlier?
Yeah. So it's all good. It's all in the spirit.
It's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
They've been doing that since the beginning, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
If I may. This is I'm gonna just get to the point. I'm gonna kind of read down. You know, this is after Antiochus. They basically sacked the temple and everything. First Maccabees, the first chapter. You know.
Can I get this quick one?
Come, bro.
Sirach 21:8. It says, "He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial."
Yeah. He's set for destruction, man. You know, it's ill-gotten gain. You know, and ultimately that really the payment was on America was the blood, sweat, and tears of our people, man. You know, the lynchings. You know, the castration. The they was cutting, they was scalping the woman. You know, sicking dogs. That was the payment. You know, Jake ain't paid with nothing else because everything has payment. You know,
absolutely.
This is First Maccabees 1, right? You know, this is after Antiochus sacked Jerusalem. This is verse 25. "Therefore there was great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness." Hey, guess what? That's coming again. This is the same thing. Pressure, what they say? Pressure from above, pressure from below.
Hegelian dialectic.
Because you start the pressure from above, you take everything, and then the pressure from below is everybody trying to steal from each other, going crazy.
The bills go up.
And the bills go up. The jobs are being lost. You know, the prices, everything goes up.
Survival.
Yeah,
and that always leads to a clash, to a war, to a civil war, and it's total collapse of our society and societal rules.
So when you have a people that are out of order, that are fighting each other, because that's when you get order out of chaos. This is what happens, right? This says the land also was moved and the inhabitants thereof. Same thing we were just saying. And all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion, right? And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, and who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. See, now this time he ain't gonna come with peaceable words, because Jake knows the deceit of Esau. If Esau comes with, you know, while everybody's down, all the supermarkets got no food in it, you know, the gas is going, everything is torment, and then Esau comes with a suit and tie, he might die. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna come with the chip, man.
Physical brute force and a microchip.
Exactly. And that's what this says. It said, this is the chief collector of Antiochus, right? It says, and he spake peaceable words unto them, but always deceit. For when they had given credence, meaning they accepted his philosophy and his words and whatever solution he came with, right? He fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel, man. So there ain't no difference, man. And that's the same thing that's about to come, man, with the mark of the beast, man. Because with the mark of the beast is going to come torment, death by pain, man.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
The thermonuclear destruction, martial law. You think, see, Jake, they're going to have it in Jake's mind to where you take this chip, or you may be exempt from being thrown in a concentration camp, or your family may be exempt from being killed.
And you're going to have food.
Right, or you know,
You know, where you want to have food rations when everybody else is starving.
They're going to have work camps too. So for people that owe debt, you're going to have to go to work camp.
They got work camps. Definitely.
Re-education camps for your children.
Re-education,
because you're going to have to re-educate the children. Cause
after you kill the parents.
Because
the parents are going to be put to death because their mindset can't work in a new world.
Let me finish reading. It says, verse 31, and when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. See, what do you do with the women and children? Now that proves right there that when you fast forward, what's this, the BC, right? This is BC, but this is like going into like the early 300 BC, right? Higher 200s BC. You fast forward, let's say another 300 years past, you know, or even a little later, let's say about 40 AD, you know, 50 AD, 60 AD, before 70 AD, where you have Paul, right, going into where? Into these Greek places.
Around, what's that, 50? About 48, 50.
Right, around it, because Yahushua was 33 AD, round about circa. So then Paul comes around circa 35, 36, 37, you know? And then he's going to these places. Why? Because you read the history, our people were taken captives.
Absolutely.
It's plain, man. This ain't hard, man. This ain't hard, man. You know?
He was performing a cleanup job, you know?
Exactly, Paul was.
Paul,
a cleanup job.
And the scripture says it's plain to the holy, man. You know, it's plain and simple. You know, we just bringing more information with the spirit power of Yahawahs, bringing more scriptures and doing the work. You know, we're doing the work. That scripture says you shall know them by their fruits, man. Now we looking around and where are these other camps, where are their fruits, man? When's the last time you seen a documentary about Yahawahs and feeding the elect out of ICPK? All you see is vice and eating fried chicken. You know, eating fried chicken with French fries, man. Going out there in North Carolina, you know what I'm saying, talking a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's that. You know, some black movement shit, get on the van and get the fuck out of there. And, you know, that's that. What do you learn for IURC? Now they're talking about the enemy is not the enemy. Or go easy on the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So again, who are the true men of the Lord? You gotta ask yourself that question. If you don't already know that by now, then hey man, you know what? You shit out of luck, man, because the Most High gonna open up all the doors of Hades in this place.
That's right.
To quote the Greeks.
Well, hey, ultimately, that 501c3 is going to be a snare to them. You know, because
It is.
you know, they gotta tell their congregation, look, you gotta get down with the government, so on and so forth. Or they're gonna witness the death of their congregation right in the midst of it.
Right. What's that scripture we talked about? I think that was last week. It said, they are framed and do mischief by law.
Yeah, I got it. It's I had it. I've been holding it. Yeah.
Frame of mischief by law, man.
Yeah, this is I think this is Psalm.
Works.
Yeah, this is Psalm 94 verse 20. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?"
Right. See now, can you read that again?
Yeah, it says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?"
Yeah, right there. So the throne of iniquity, who is that? That's Esau, man. The throne of iniquity, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? Meaning, are we supposed to go join hand in hands with the throne of iniquity, man? How can you say Esau the devil, right? The white man's the devil, and now you gonna make a deal with him?
Make a deal with him. And then part of the deal, he keeps telling you, he keeps
suppressing
putting a muzzle in your mouth.
Right. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?"
But who frameth mischief by law, mischievous, man. You have something in America, or the day before Halloween, it's called Mischief Night. That's what happens. What happens on Mischief Night? Toilet tissues all over the place. People throwing eggs. People. It's all kind of wickedness is going on that day. Mischief, because it's called Mischief Night. It's mischievous things are going on, man.
That's right.
So with these laws and these policies that he comes up with, it's nothing but mischievous, man. It's all nothing but wickedness, man.
I think the word for mischief is amal, but I can't pull it up in the Hebrew. But the Strong's is H5999.
Amal, I don't know that.
Amal. I mean,
you can't see the definition?
No, I can't. They don't give me the definition.
Come.
Yeah, but the Hebrew is H599. You got it.
Okay, I'm bringing this out. This is Matthew 24:24. It says, "For there shall arise false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect."
Right.
Verse 25, "Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not."
Comfy's in them secret chambers. You know, something you read there too. He said, because can you read that part again where they talked about the deceive the very elect?
Matthew 24:24, "For there shall arise false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders."
That's the point right there. That shall show great signs and wonders. How are they going to show great signs and wonders? Why? Through Esau, man. Because that's talking about other Israelites, man. Coming up, saying that they were sent by the Lord. You know, the commanding general Yahanna.
Putting the Passover, say the only Passover in Israel. That's the title. You know, the only leader in Israel, the commanding general.
Right. So the same great signs and wonders are going to be things that Esau tells them to do, man. Whatever it may be, man. You know? Well, some of them you can say right now, all this extra traveling they doing, them being on the Uman and the Thuman, or the Urim and the Thuman, if I'm saying it correctly. You know? Them being on TV and Esau got them in their little, box or whatever the case is. So people looking like, oh, look, they getting great status.
Those are secret chambers, man.
Yeah.
Because they make deals. Obviously, you can see Great Millstone. We don't have those deals.
Nah.
That's why we've been there's a blackout on this, man. You're not gonna hear Great Millstone in your national TV, the mainstream news. Not even the non-mainstream channels. You won't see Great Millstone. Why? Because they got the orders and now don't mess with them. Why? Because we are those men. You know what I'm saying? Now, what they have reserved for us, would they believe they're going to do things to us? But the Lord say, hey, he's going to protect us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the ones of us that have to be martyrs will be martyrs, and we will go down, smiling and with joy for Yahawashi. But for the majority of us are not going to be touched, us hopeful elect.
That's right. That's right. You know why? Because we're suffering now, man.
That's right.
We're taking up our cross right now, man. You know? I got the word. It's Imar.
Or Imar. Okay.
It's I, a man, a lot. Imar means the toil, trouble, and labor. Labor.
Yeah.
You know, so they come up and they say, "Oh, you ain't got to do much. You ain't got to do this. We just need you to do, you know, X, Y, and Z." And then when you open up that bag of tricks, if you will, it's all kinds of mischievous madness.
Yeah. Inheritance.
Yeah, just like what's the name sold out Marcus Garvey, man. W.E.B. Du Bois. He sold out Marcus Garvey, and in turn what they did, they gave him syphilis. But what he has his name on a hospital down in, I believe it's in Alabama. If I remember correctly, man.
He used to be in the history books, Black history.
Yeah, he's in the Black history book. Marcus Garvey's not in Black history, so-called Black history. You're not going to read too much about Marcus Garvey. You know?
You might get a half a page.
I don't remember Marcus. The only thing I remember about Marcus Garvey, he got a park in Harlem. You know, Jake Benjamin acknowledged him a lot, you know, because he wanted to leave America, man. You know, but all in all, the point is that it was always a nigga trying to hinder Jake from being prosperous.
Absolutely.
And then what happened was he took the bait that Esau gave him, but then got the wrong wrong end of the stick.
They always do.
Always.
Even Johanna, I don't know, whatever they would promise. Whatever they would promise, I don't know.
Buckets of chicken.
You know, they would promise a backdoor exit when all hell breaks loose.
Right.
When these Gurkha troops come down in these camps. I know them good. They probably have deals when they're like, well, listen, maybe a week before or the day before we collapse, you know, let's say the county's about to go down and they know they're going to have a staged terrorist attack. And they're probably telling, hey, listen, we're going to let you know a week before when we collapse in the church so you won't show up. So we're going to take them, but you and your family going to be okay.
Yeah, well, I wasn't comfy in that drug ring, man. You know?
He knew this shit was going to happen.
Yeah, through the spirit,
yep. Because remember, it's that same, remember 9/11 thing, where none of the rats
went to work that day.
Went to work that day.
None.
There was some jakes were told not to fly that day.
See? Yeah, that's right. You know, but when the big showdown goes down, you know, you may have some jakes that are around that might slip through the cracks like, what was his name, man? Matrix. Whatever, he's like, this is a snake. I know the Rangers is telling me it's snake. It's not really snake. But because he was sitting making a deal with the ancients.
That's a
Cypher. It was Cypher. Okay. I thought Cypher was one of the jakes. Well, yeah.
Cypher's a jake, but he sold out.
Yeah, Con. Yeah, they sold out, man. He sold out the Nebuchadnezzar. The whole team, the whole ship, man. Trying to get Neo trapped up and everything, man.
Right.
It was always the wicked, but he represented a wicked Jake, man. The Antiochians.
Yeah.
When you read 2nd Maccabees, man, you had the Antiochians versus Israel, because you had Israelites that would take on the customs of the Greeks that actually call themselves Antiochians, man.
Ultimate sellouts.
That's right, man.
I got one more. This is Isaiah 56:10. It says, his watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs.
They're all dumb dogs, man. You know, a dog, when you look in the scriptures, a dog is basically a regular beast with no understanding, man.
Yep.
You know, or a heathen. With Salakia, bro, a heathen, man.
Yep.
A dog represents a heathen, man.
Yep.
You know?
Right. And really dumb right there also say they can't
slow to speak. Yeah.
You know? It says
They're supposed to bark, but it doesn't bark.
Exactly.
It says that.
Yep.
It says that. Isaiah 56:10, his watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs, they cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
Loving to slumber, man. That's a pointless ass dog, man.
Yeah.
Remember
That's a pet.
Yeah. Son.
Oh yeah, they are Esau's pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are Esau's pets.
Right. But they're supposed to be on a mission, man. You get a dog, they're supposed to have tasks and duties.
Yeah.
You know, well, and this is likened in those false prophets unto those dogs that don't have any tasks.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a dog, which I myself have a dog, and if you don't give them a task, they start doing stupid shit.
Yeah, they get sloppy.
They start tearing shit up, fucking up the house.
They be told what to do.
Yeah.
You know, which they unlike cats. Cats just wild out, do whatever they want to do. But dogs are supposed to be, which really, in a sense, we are, you know what I'm saying, also
Caleb.
dogs in the whole Bible, like
Caleb.
David.
Joshua, Caleb.
Joshua and Caleb. So we are also the dogs of Yahawah, but we are the dogs that can bark.
Right. We're actually barking.
We're actually barking.
We're warning you. We're warning you that the thief is coming. You know? We're warning you, man. When someone when you go to someone's house and it says beware of dog, you see it, he's like, oh, okay. But if it says beware of dog and your dog doesn't bark, well, there's two ways behind that. So some dogs don't bark, but they'll get your ass. They'll get you, but all in all, but you want a dog to bark to alarm you, man.
Absolutely.
Scripture say, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, man.
Right.
Sound an alarm in my holy mountain, man.
That's right. Isaiah 56:11, yea, there are greedy dogs, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand.
They're physicians of no value, man.
Right.
As the scriptures say, man.
Right.
They're the ones that's supposed to heal you and make you feel whole, but you still feel weak. It's sacrilege at the end of the day, man.
That's right.
Because sacrilege, at the end of the day, when you read about sacrilege in Romans, and when Paul was getting on those Pharisees, he was getting on those wicked Jews, he said he brought them up for sacrilege because here it is, they're trying to tell you to stay away from the idols.
Yeah.
But once you get down with them, you're ultimately back into idol worship.
Absolutely.
Because why? It's all about the commanding General Yohana.
Yeah.
Nate. No one knows the name of the Lord, but you gotta acknowledge Nathaniel. You know, so you're back right up under sacrilege. You're back right into idol worship, man. In which sacrilege is basically you selling idols for money. You know, you're getting money by selling idols. So here it is. We got this figurehead, this Godhead. His name is the Commanding General Yohana. Yeah. He makes these awesome speeches, and when you come to listen to him, you gotta spend money.
Yeah, he charges money.
Yeah. And then breakdowns they charge for, nothing different.
That's what it says.
And then they're not taxed on it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Isaiah 56:11, yea, there are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and there are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter.
Right. They're selfish dogs, man. Because typically when a dog, dogs are very territorial. You give them a bone, and if you're not the master, you can't touch that bone. Yeah. So that's the greed. It's for myself. Yeah. Don't come over here. And then if you try to get at them, they try to bite. They try to bite you. Yeah. Because it's spiritual. It's all spiritual. When we went over there on 7th and H, right? When we went on 7th and H and we approached them dudes, they didn't want to give us the time of day. But remember, that was the same time they was battling Shaka Atmos. Yeah. They was battling Polite and all that. Yeah. The spirit hit me later. I was like, damn, I should have said that. Like, why the fuck y'all battle them, but they won't say nothing to us? Why? Because it's all about money, man.
That's right.
It's all about money with these guys, man.
It's not about the truth. It's about money. Selfish gain.
Yep.
Like the scripture said, they all have their own way and from their own quarters. They IUIC in one quarter, ISUPK in one quarter, GOCC in one quarter, Sabak in one quarter. We're just gonna do our thing and make money and use the scriptures to make a profit, man, to make a buck. Yeah. So at the end of the day, with these niggas, it's all about still making a buck, man.
Yeah, market share. They trying to get their market share of the believers.
They're pushing a product.
Yep.
They're pushing a product for the wrong commerce.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Jake is becoming merchandise.
Yes.
To these so-called groups.
Yeah.
Can y'all give me Jeremiah the 5th chapter? Bring that up. I think it's 5:20, 5:26. It's from a mom.
Come on. I get it for you.
How much longer?
We got.
How much longer is it though?
Oh, I don't know. It just say record.
You don't know how much time is left? We started at 300.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know how to work it.
All right, it's all good. Just leave it there.
Yeah. This is Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 26. For among my people I found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set the trap. They catch men.
Yup. So they basically put out that line to catch men. The undesirables of Yahawah Shem Yahushua.
You know?
Yeah, just like in Yahushua says, his men shall, his disciples shall be fishers of men. The same thing also applies, to the 2/3 of all these false prophets, They're also fishing for souls so they could make merchandise of them.
Right. Yeah. That's why the scripture says what? My people are led as a flock to the slaughter.
That's right.
You know, because sheep's are docile animals. Yeah. They don't have no horn, no protection to fight for themselves. So when the shepherd comes and he starts guiding the sheep, you know, and then they put their faith into that shepherd, and then what they do is they basically send them to a pack of wolves. You know, there'll be a pack of wolves waiting for those sheep that the shepherd led them to, man. But that's why we have great examples in the scriptures. That's why David was a great example, because when one sheep got away, what he do? He fought the lion, he fought the bear. That's why he was considered of nobility to lead the nation. Because look what he would do for just one sheep. You know, just like Yahawashi said that. Yahawashi, remember he made the parable about the woman. She cleaned the whole house, but she lost 1 penny. Remember, she tore the whole house up for 1 penny. And basically Yahawashi was like, he basically said she rejoiced over getting that 1 penny, man. You know that, but see, the thing is, everybody's expendable to these other Hebrew Israelite camps, man. Dudes expendable, man. You know, they're basically making a wicked sacrifice, man. It's ultimately what it is, you know. God.
Hey, well, conclusion. The things that were written for our time, for our learning, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
It was a beautiful thing. I brought out the examples of old, and we're seeing them today, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new under the sun. That's our job. That's our duty. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture said, they're greedy dogs, but we out here, righteous dogs in Yahawashi.
Yep.
So guess what? We gonna put in the work. We ain't got no choice but to put in the work. Knowing what the scripture said. Knowing
these things, what men ought you to be.
That's right.
The all holy conversation.
Absolutely. And also knowing the wrath of the Lord, we persuade men.
Yep.
You know, so we have to persuade the men, but the chosen elect of Yahawashi. So on that, of course, you know, through the Spirit, we know without a shadow of a doubt, the elect will edify. You know what I'm saying? The was out here with the LBJ. You know what I'm saying? LBJ. Let me get that right. LBJ. Of course, you got the monument. You know, Lord willing, there's gonna be more on location. There's one thing we do have in DC. We do got locations. So, you know what I'm saying, just sit tight, you know what I'm saying, through the Spirit, we're going to keep going on these locations and bring more wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and information. So we're going to say, Yahawashi, honor to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom and salutation to all the sincere occupants across the four winds, elect, pushing this truth with sincerity of mind. Shalom.
Shalom.